Looks like I spoke too soon with this build. Look at that. Great chunk off it, look. So why is that pulley stuck out so much? Do you know something? I don't know if you can see the pulley down here. Oh, probably you can. I've had problems with these before, where like somebody's changed the pump and put a different one, an aftermarket one. That the actual flange is too far out or too far in. Damn, we're going to have to do some serious moonlight on this one. Get David Bowie down. Now, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to set up my laser. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I know you like a bit of fun. We're going to set up the laser and shine a line across the pulleys so that we know they're all straight, because otherwise it's going to chew belts up. I'll just use my vice grips. I've got to perfect my little tool a little bit, that's why I'm not really showing you it. The next thing we'll put on is the tensioner. The tensioner feels good. And that's 45 Newton meters, is that bad boy? Oh no, wait a minute, no, we're going to do laser, aren't we? We'll leave that off because that's irrelevant. God, let's get carried away, let's have a laser show. That'd be good, wouldn't it? I'll get set up. Well, after a royal messing about with the laser stuck on top of my light, it took me about 20 minutes to get this lined up. But if I put the laser, if you can see there, it's on the front pulleys. This is how I did the GM to get the power steering pump right. You can see that if the front pulleys are lined up by the first groove, and you can see here that belts back. You see, this is the groove where it should be. You know, see, it's roughly, man, you really need a micro adjuster on that. But you can see this one is in line, this one's in line, this one's in line, but this one's really far back. Now, that's going to cause the belts to wear, and that's why I was kind of concerned about this here. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to deliberately, whilst this is set up and we're not going to move the car, I'm going to take that pulley off and turn it backwards. Well, I turned it the other way around and it made no difference whatsoever. You can see how the laser line is right on the edge of the belt, where it should be here, look. I know I've put the belt on backwards, you know, but I wanted to do it to show you, but there ain't much room on there. And you can see that one there is on there, and that one's on there, and that one's on there. So this one should be, you know, sort of round about here, right in the middle. Now, that is a bugger. How am I going to do that? I'm going to have a think about this, because it needs that pulley pushing back a little bit. In times gone by, I've had these pulleys sticking out this way, you know, too far in, should I say. They've been too far in, and when you put your pulley, it was almost touching this bolt here. So what we simply did was made a shim and shimmed it out, and it was fine. But in this case, I need to go in. Now, there is a thread in here. I'm just wondering if I could put find a bolt in there and a tube washer and just push that back ever so slightly. Whew. That's a tough one, isn't it? What the hell do we do here? Because the belts are just going to chew up, look. If I put a new belt on there, it's going to go like that in next to no time. But that certainly isn't right, is it? Alright, let's have a drink about this. Most frustrating. I've got a couple of pumps out here, and I just can't make this out. This is an example of pumps, like power steering pumps here. That can be a problem. You see this one here, this was chewing belts up, and you can see how far the flange is sticking out. This is one that was leaking, but you can see how far the flange is sticking out there. That was fine. But on this one, I've got a problem, because I have a pump I've just put down somewhere. Where the hell is it now? Yeah, here we are. Now this is a 300 TDI pump for sure, because it's still got the bracket on. If I measure from the flange face here to the bracket, it's 35 millimeters, give or take. If I do the same on that one, it's 35 millimeters. So I'm just wondering, I only need a millimeter or so. I'm just wondering if I could sort of take this bracket off and put a couple of washers behind it and pull it back a bit. Why am I not using these pumps? Because I don't know what they're like. I think they're all knackered and I don't want to spend all day on them. But there's something not right, because that pulley should not be like that. Right, you can see where it's shiny on the edge, look. If I can move that a millimetre further in, I'll be laughing. There is a tap thread in there, but I think it's 9 millimetre. You know, everybody's got a 9 millimetre thread. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to back off the bolts that's retaining the pump, the 3 bolts, and see if it makes any difference. Why not? It's a free country. Thought it was. Right, let's have a go. Oh, they're tight. Right, let's back that one off. That one was loose. Do you know, I'm sure somebody's been in here before. This one here. Now, can we move that back a millimetre or so? Because if it does, and I think it will. I think it will. It might do. It might just move back a bit. Yeah, I think it will. Tell you what, let me fiddle around with that. Let me take that excuse me, virus. I'll take this bracket off and I'll put a couple of washers behind this bracket here. It won't make any difference, just as an experiment. And I'll get the old vernier out there and I'll measure the washers so they're exactly the same. And we'll try it. We've got nothing to lose now, have we? I knocked my laser ever so slightly because I've knocked it off line here. So this line should be here in a bit, but you can see on the pulley I put a 1.5 millimetre washer in there and it's just pulled it into that darkness over here. So I think what we'll do is we'll put a belt on and see what it looks like. Should be alright. Well, typically I didn't have a belt for that. So what I've done is I've put the old belt on with the wear at the front, not at the back where it was wearing before. And I'm going to spin up the engine and see what it actually sits like on that pulley. Now I'm only going to fire it up briefly just to let the belt settle down. Alright, I'm just going to start up the car. I know there's no water in it, but it won't be for long. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Yeah, no, that's really good. Yeah, that's really, really good. I'm pleased with that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could have done with another sort of a millimetre, but it's not too bad at all. I mean, there is a distinct gap now between the two, so it has moved forwards because we're not seeing any shiny at the front of here. Great success. So, happy with that. What a mess about, eh? This is where the hours go, eh? Well, at least, you know, we could get away with that belt. It's not that bad. And put one on in the near future. But it's not all the belts are concentric now. They're all sort of running together in the same line. Yeah. So what time is it now? 3:15. I think it's about time for a cup of tea again. And then I'll bolt all the rest of this lot up. I wonder why that was though, eh? Didn't make no sense. But anyway, at least it's not going to chew belts up. That's a good thing. Back in a moment. Right, so we've checked all the torques and everything like this on these pulleys. We've done them up to... Yeah, no, they're alright. We'll double check them because we've just had quite a bit of a break there. Just check them off. There we go. This is good. Next thing, we'll put the radiator hose back in. One thing I wanted to show you here, that somebody's put a block heater into this hose. Well, that goes like that into the engine naturally, you can see, and then the block heater plugs into there. Quite frankly, they don't do much at all. Because the water pumps is high, by the time the water gets up to here, this is quite an interesting one because it's got a thermostat in this one, if you can see. I'll just dip the light down a bit. There, that's sexy, isn't it? What will happen is this hose will get hot because it's up like that type of thing. As the hot water gets up here, it has a struggle to get through the pump and then go down and into the block, because as you saw, it was a lot lower. So what happens is hot water will come back down here, can't go anywhere, trips it out, doesn't do anything, waste of money. Get a block heater off me and it will go into the side of the block, but unfortunately they are all 110. So no good for you guys who haven't got pathetic electric like we have. So we're going to plug that plug in, for what good it does. And then we'll get that into there. That's it. And then we'll link out. Oh, look at these clips here, they're knackered, look. They're not very good, are they? See? I'm showing light, I don't know what light wants to do. Yeah, get over there. So we'll put our bottom hose on. There we go. A bit tight. You can't go wrong putting the top hose on because it's got a little notch in it. Get the bottom one in. That's in. Get this one in as well at the same time, and then we can use our impact to tighten them all up again. Gotta watch these things here. You know, you should be able to get a finger under there, under the pulley. They're always wearing out. They could have made that bracket just a little bit higher, but they didn't. I don't know what they were thinking about that day. Let's get all our... What's that one there? That's a 6mm. That's that one. One right down here. That's that one. That'll be a different size. Size as that one. That's one of the nice things about doing everything standard. Standard hose clips, and you know, then you've got like 1,000 bloody different sizes of hose clips on cars and you can never get them quite right. There we go. Turn that round a bit. That's that one on. And this one here, turn it round a bit. 6mm again. Into here, inside. goes on. Happy there. Next thing, we'll put our cowling on. Just always have a one last look around to make sure everything's right. Right, let's get the cowling. Oh, we'll go and put it on now, it's here. I think we'll, well no, we'll put a new clip on there. I've got some, they're all rusted out. Right, here we go. When you put these cowls in, just make sure that they go in the right, there's some little clips that they're sitting. There's one at this side. Yeah, that's it. That's in there. Now, that's it. Is that down there? There. Right, now we'll tighten up those little nuts and bolts here.